Good morning across the length and breadth of Liberia. Obviously, it feels good every time to be on this platform. Like we always tell you, when we have the opportunity to speak to you, Liberians, we see it as an honorable thing. We see it as the ways in which we contribute to the growth and development of Liberia. Every time we sit on this platform, we use our voice to impact change in our society. That's good morning, folks. Good morning, Liberia. And good morning, Liberians. It feels good to have you listen to this program. This is Good Morning, Liberia on Voice of Liberia 104.1. Those of you following us via our online radio at www.voiceofliberiaonline.com, we say thanks so kindly for following us. Help us share the live as well. Those of you watching via the Facebook, we say thanks for joining us, and we encourage you to join us. Help us share the live as well. Thanks for joining us. It's always a pleasure having you on the program. This is Good Morning Liberia, and it is a Harris Esbele presentation. Good morning and welcome to the program. Lots of issues to look at this morning. Too many things to discuss. We have a plate, a menu rich for discussion this morning. But at first, we must acknowledge those of you watching via the Facebook. Those of you are watching via Facebook, so thanks for joining us. And oh my word, I'm doing this thing everything to have it set. I'm trying to get this thing on. Okay, all right. This is where we are. Good morning and welcome. Welcome to those of you joining us via the live. We say thanks so kindly for following us. It's always a pleasure having you listen to this program. It's on your FM dial 104.1. This is Good Morning Liberia, the Harris Esbele presentation. Let's run you through what we have coming up very, very shortly. We are gathering reports from Maryland County that the Harper District Commissioner, Honorable Abraham Jackson, has resigned from the position as Commissioner of the Harper District in Maryland County. Why did he resign? What are the circumstances surrounding his resignation? We're going to speak with our Maryland County correspondent on the program this morning. We're going to tell us why is it that the Maryland, that's the Harper District Commissioner, resigned. Remember, mind you, that there is this thing in the pipeline that all those occupying appointed positions are to resign on or before the 7th of April. So we have the 3 days for that order to take effect. And those who have the interest to contest in elections are bound to resign on or before the 7th of April. And so perhaps when these kinds of resignations are coming in, someone want to tie it to the fact that the Harper District Commissioner might have interest in the electoral process. But no matter how it is, we're going to place a call this morning to our Maryland County correspondent, where he's going to provide detail on the program. The U.S. government, through its embassy near Monrovia, has committed its unwavering support towards Liberia's electoral process, while calling Liberians to refrain from violence before, during, and after elections. U.S. Ambassador Michael McCarthy made that statement while he visited Bombing on yesterday. Yesterday, the U.S. Ambassador was in Bombing, and he held discussions with local authorities in the area and the youth and different sectors of society regarding electoral violence, the reasons why they should refrain from electoral violence in the country. And so we ought to place an emphasis on that as well. We're going to place a call to our Bombing County correspondent. That's our Bombing County contributor, right? Gabriel MC Parker will join us on the program, where he'll provide insight about the U.S. ambassador visit to Bome County. At 8 o'clock, we begin a discussion. We are expected to play host to Matthias Yinin. Matthias Yinin is the executive director of ARED. ARED, you remember this legislative monitoring scorecard they released on the attendance of lawmakers and their participation as well in section. And so that release has been greeted in the public. Some lawmakers take exception to the report, while others welcomed the report. The report pointed out to the number of times each lawmaker has spoken in plenary, and as well as their attendance, whether they are regular in session or not. So we're going to have him on this morning. He's going to explain in depth about the report and what it means for the organization as well when it comes to this report. At 9 o'clock, we have a wide range of national issues we're going to look at as well on the program, folks. So this is mainly for you. Welcome. Thanks for joining. Invite someone to listen to this program. This is Good Morning Liberia, the Harris S. Bailey presentation. We'll go for this short break to be right back. And indeed, Telesur Liberia is our sponsor. And so we take a message from Telesur.
Are you tired with slow internet? Do you want super fast and affordable internet? Telecel Liberia is here to provide all your internet service needs. The internet is moving at a fast pace, and only super fast internet speed can help you keep up. At Telecel, our internet packages are divided into distinct categories: Mega, Optimal, Premium, Elite, and Big Business that suits kids, universities, schools, hotels, beaches, homes, offices, urban areas, and much more. Anything is possible with Telecel Liberia. Get your own streaming box for Netflix, Amazon Prime, Showmax, and more. At Telecel, our amazing 24-hour customer service is there to help you with all your needs. Telecel Liberia, super fast speed, 24 hours technical support team, the best broadband and fiber optic internet service in Liberia. For more information, please call 0770-399-399 or 0881-399-399. Or stop by our office on 3rd Street, Syncor, opposite the Carter Center and GLZ building. Visit our website, telecelliberia.com. Email us at info@telecelliberia.com. Telecel Liberia, the best internet service provider, is here for you. Telecel Liberia, connecting the unconnected.
I want to flex my love. I want to bless.
Are you tired with slow internet? Do you want super fast and affordable internet? Telecel Liberia is here to provide all your internet service needs. The internet is moving at a fast pace, and only super fast internet speed can help you keep up. At Telecel, our internet packages are divided into distinct categories: Mega, Optimal, Premium, Elite, and Big Business that suits kids, universities, schools, hotels, beaches, homes, offices, urban areas, and much more. Anything is possible with Telecel Liberia. Get your own streaming box for Netflix, Amazon Prime, Showmax, and more. At Telecel, our amazing 24-hour customer service is there to help you with all your needs. Telecel Liberia, super fast speed, 24 hours technical support team, the best broadband and fiber optic internet service in Liberia. For more information, please call 0770-399-399 or 0881-399-399. Or stop by our office on 3rd Street, Syncor, opposite the Carter Center and GLZ building. Visit our website, telecelliberia.com. Email us at info@telecelliberia.com. Telecel Liberia, the best internet service provider, is here for you. Telecel Liberia, connecting the unconnected.
I want to flex my love. I want to bless.
Are you tired with slow internet? Do you want super fast and affordable internet? Telecel Liberia is here to provide all your internet service needs. The internet is moving at a fast pace, and only super fast internet speed can help you keep up. At Telecel, our internet packages are divided into distinct categories: Mega, Optimal, Premium, Elite, and Big Business that suits kids, universities, schools, hotels, beaches, homes, offices, urban areas, and much more. Anything is possible with Telecel Liberia. Get your own streaming box for Netflix, Amazon Prime, Showmax, and more. At Telecel, our amazing 24-hour customer service is there to help you with all your needs. Telecel Liberia, super fast speed, 24 hours technical support team, the best broadband and fiber optic internet service in Liberia. For more information, please call 0770-399-399 or 0881-399-399 or stop by our office on 3rd Street Syncor, opposite the Carter Center and GLZ buildings. Visit our website, telecellliberia.com. Email us at info@telecellliberia.com. Telecell Liberia, the best internet service provider, is here for you. Telecell Liberia.
Today, Telecell Liberia, connecting the unconnected. Telecell Liberia is our sponsor on the program. Good morning, folks, and welcome. We begin our conversation. We hope Vani Kaman can pick up. Yeah, we hope Vani Kaman picks up relatively to this development from Meriden County that the Harper District Commissioner has resigned from his post. Remember, he was appointed by President George Weah, and he felt the need to resign. So we hope to bring Vani on to tell us what is surrounding the resignation of the Harper District Commissioner. Whether it's in relations to the President's executive order mandating all appointed officials of his government to resign on or before April 7. We hope we can, Vani will pick up this morning. We hope Vani will pick up this morning. My word. Okay. All right. We are still doing everything possible to bring him on. But in the intervening period, we are going to speak with Gabriel Parker. Gabriel Parker is our bombing counter contributor. There is this development from bombing that the U.S. ambassador visited that western part of Liberia on yesterday, and he made a lot of emphasis regarding the need that citizens in that part of the country, in Liberia at large, refrain from electoral violence. And I'm told as well he inspected some ongoing U.S. projects in that part of the county. And so we have Gabriel on the line from bombing. Gabriel, good morning and thanks for joining us.
What a pleasant way to say good morning and good morning to the Prince of Liberia, and it's my pleasure to be on the show this morning.
Indeed, Gabriel, which part of bombing are you joining us from this morning?
I'm currently at the broadcasting station that's really for me last year. Come on, back here with the government.
Okay, Gabriel, we're going to begin this conversation. It is our understanding that the U.S. Ambassador, Michael McCartin, visited Bombing on yesterday, and he held lots of discussions with local authorities. First, you want to give a narration about the U.S. Ambassador visiting Bombing on yesterday.
Yesterday, the U.S. Ambassador visit was where he was received by senators, chief airlines, and local officials in the county at the city body where he was given a very called Yola, emulated from the historic like in Yola. So when they visit, the anticipated the U.S. ambassador outlined the scheme of the visit, and he also took along with the head of the mission on the according to Ambassador Michael McCarthy, his aim of the visit was to access the U.S. problems that were implemented in bombing. So yesterday, led by average of local government officials to these projects that the U.S. government funded, and one of them was the conservation hall at the campus of the Forestry Institute. And that hall was constructed by the using of two United States government, and it was turned over years ago to the administration of the Forestry Training Institute. And also, at that same venue, we held some interactive discussion with students where he used the medium to call on students to be very serious when it comes to their lesson because according to him, the issue of deforestation in the area and the poor placement of the forest land conservation is one of major challenges that creating climate change in Liberia. So we also acknowledge the students to be, very focused on the lesson so that when they go back in their respective community, positive change. And his second shot yesterday was at the sub office here in Birmingham, where he was warmly welcomed by the magistrate here, Luther Dean, and his entourage at the office. Where he asked some of the hard questions in the ongoing parliamentary voter registration process in Birmingham. And he also visit one of the centers where he watched, the process, the registration process, that went on yesterday. His third stop was also at the Liberia Government Hospital. Mind you, few months back, the government in collaboration with UT constructed a regional oxygen plant, and that oxygen plant will share Bomi, Cuba, and Guapolo. So he also accessed the facility yesterday and also thanked health workers for their numerous contribution made in saving the lives of the commoners. And finally, his last was at the mind you, USAID and that of Internews with local community organizations in the county, especially the training of reporters and providing equipment. So he promised to welcome yesterday. His visit yesterday to Radio Bombing where he held a ceremony of instructions on the radio. As he's about to leave Liberia. And the second thing was also to send a strong party to Liberians as Liberians goes towards the election. He urged Liberians to refrain from acts of violence. According to him, he has a proclivity to undermine the peace and stability of the country. So he urged Liberians to refrain from violence.
Gabriel, we're going to hold you there. And I listened when you said one of the things, one of the discussions the U.S. ambassador held on yesterday was he met with local NEC staffs and held discussions with them relatively to the parliamentary voter registration exercise, and it's outlined some of the challenges surrounding the process. Were you able to gather on some of the things the NEC staff said to the U.S. ambassador that these are challenges they are confronted with, especially with the ongoing parliamentary voter registration exercise?
Certainly, like I said, he met the election magistrate in Birmingham, Luther Dean, and Magistrate Dean was able to outline some of the challenges. Some of the challenges, his name was the first 2 days, the 20th and the 21st of March. That was the beginning of the parliamentary registration exercise. According to Luther, especially in a rural setting, encounters some challenges when it comes to the equipment. So it brought some level of delay in the process. And also, he also outlines the issue of the network system in the rural parts where the staffers, those temporary staffers of NEC, the counter from problem. But according to him, all of these challenges and all of these problems are being solved. And now they are smooth working, going at the third week. NEC has entered the third week for the ongoing registration exercise in the county.
And Gabriel, before we take leave of you, were you able to speak with some local authorities in the county relatively to the U.S. ambassador visit? What are some of the things they said and some of the discussions, the indoor discussions they held with the ambassador on yesterday?
Yesterday, the acting superintendent Juman Gaul the visitation of U.S. ambassador to Spain. And he also fulfilled his mission as mind you, the US party will soon be leaving Liberia. I mean, his mission will be terminating. So he conveyed his message to the embassy, to the leadership of Bobby County, and also the U.S. ambassador pledged his unwavering support, to the county as the new ambassador that will be stepping in and continue from his work.
And hey, Gabriel, thanks so kindly for filling us in with that development from Bome.
Before leaving you, as you know, next has entered the 10 week of the biometric registration exercise. So, management looked at him, according to him, making some statistics of week one of the registration exercise. According to him, of week one, 27,677 spaces. I mean, turned out to form part of the registration exercise. And with two state classes, state government from the state citizens were able to do their registration successfully. So he also used the media to encourage citizens in the county to take advantage of the ongoing registration exercise as it has its foundation.
All right, Gabriel Parker there from Bome County with that report. Thanks so kindly, Gabriel. Gabriel is our Bome County. Yeah, he's contributing for the voice of Liberia there in Bome County. Thanks so kindly, Gabriel, for filling us in with that development relatively to the U.S. ambassador visit in that part of the country. And you listen to him. Our next stop is in where is this place? It's in Maryland County, like we told you. Our Maryland County correspondent, Vanning Kaman, is reporting that the Harper District Commissioner has resigned his post. Why? For what are the reasons surrounding his resignation? We hoping we can bring on Vanning Kaman this morning. Vanning Kaman, we hope we can bring him on to complete this segment of our correspondence. Like we said, our guest on the program coming out shortly is Matthias Yinen. Matthias comes from the Institute for Research and Democratic Development, ARED. ARED released the 2022 scorecard on lawmakers' performance. A lot of things they mentioned in that thing. Oh, Vani, Kamal, I just hope you pick up. This time we want to conclude this segment on you. We have lots of issues to discuss. I hope Vani will pick up. I hope Vani, I hope you pick up. My word, how is this thing? I hope Vani, you. Oh, yeah. Oh, my word. Where is Vani this time around? We hope he pick up. If not, we delve into the conversations on the program. Good morning. Lots of issues. Like let's acknowledge those of you following us via the internet. We say thanks so kindly for following. Let's acknowledge those of you following us on the online this morning. Mighty Gadi says, "Good morning, guys. I'm watching from Police Academy community, many things." Lamino Conan says, "Good morning. Watching you live from District 2, Margibi County. Thanks." Roberta Riches, one of our regular followers, is watching. Many thanks to you, Roberta. Stephen Johnson says, watching live from the office of the Friends of Clarence H. Cole, District 17, next representative. Many thanks to you and those of you watching it live. On the live video, the list is so long, we can just continue. Yeah, we can just continue. Name all of you, but we acknowledge each and every one of you watching this morning. Okay. Oh yes. We hope we can bring Vanny on. I hope Vanny can come on. This development is very, very, very important. But let's read you his letter of resignation while we await Vanny coming on. Let's read to you his resignation letter is in our possession this morning. Why we are with Vanny joining us on the program. Oh my word! Let me get this thing. So challenging. Let me get this on. So it says, Honorable George E. Poole, Superintendent, Meriden County, reference letter of resignation. And I said, Dear Honorable Poole, with immediate effect, I write to resign my position as District Commissioner of Harper District. Says this decision is motivated as the incumbent president of the Republic of Liberia, His Excellency President George Manawiya, mandated nationwide that all interested candidates to contest in the pending elections should relinquish power. I am so much grateful to the President of the Republic of Liberia for all the opportunities afforded me to serve the Liberian people since March 2018, when I was appointed as District Commissioner. Our 5 years of working relationships have taught me to be committed, dutiful, and diligent. Most importantly, grateful towards the hope of the Liberian people. The government of Liberia has a greater agenda to shift the course of the Liberian people. I am grateful that I have partly helped them towards achieving this goal for better and greater Liberia. They went on to say, I am still around to offer my services for the sake of the Liberians, my people, should, in case the need be. Thanks for your consideration. And they went on to say, Honorable Abraham B. Jackson, District Commissioner, and this thing is CC, Meriden Women, Meriden Youth Association, and Civil Society organizations relative to his resignation. So you listen to him. We hope Vanny can join us. Vanny, I just don't know, but oh my word. Oh my word. I just hope Vanny can pick up this morning. We want to bring him on to get to explain for us how's the situation like in Meriden County. You know, this issue about the president's declaration that those occupying appointed positions should resign. Thankfully, we have Vanny. Vanny has joined us on the line this morning. Vanny, good morning, and thanks for joining us. Vanny, good morning, and thanks for joining us.
Good morning. How you doing?
What I'm doing perfect. How is Meriden County this morning?
Maryland County is okay this morning. We have a good weather condition in the county.
You want to bring up to speed with this development that the Harper District Commissioner has resigned from his post.
Yeah, well, thank you very much. The Harper District Commissioner, Honorable Abraham Jackson, resigned his post yesterday. On yesterday, he wrote a communication resignation letter to the addressing it to the county superintendent, Honorable George April. In his resignation letter, he said he resigned his post because over the past time, the President of the Republic of Liberia, Dr. George Manawiya, announced that those that are supposed to or that wanted to contest this year elections and that were appointed as president should resign their post. So based on that, and he wanted to respect the mandate of the president, so he resigned his post yesterday, and he's one of the aspiring of Harper District contesting to be representative of the district.
Vanny, you want to give us a clear narration about the current trend of happenings in Meriden County, especially with regards to the electoral process? Are there officials that are occupying appointed positions that are expressing interest in the upcoming October 10 elections? Have you gathered from those local authorities as to whether they are interested in participating?
Yeah, for for Maryland County, for the, remember Jackson, who just resigned, he was one of those that expressed interest that want to contest as representative. Also, the mayor of the city, Harper. Also, she expressed interest that she wants to be the representative, the next representative of Harper District, and the director of number Williams Wallace. So all of them expressed their interest that they want to contest as representative. But the only person so far that have resigned from his post is the commissioner. So we are looking forward to hear from the mayor and other people that want to contest. Whether they really want to contest, and if it is so, then I believe that before the time of this month, they're going to sign in their resignations letter.
It appears to be that the resignation of the district commissioner is an open challenge to the rest of those officials that are expressing interest in the electoral process. But we have 3 days to the president's ordered. After that 3 day, that is on the 7th of April, and afterwards, all those that are desirous of contesting will just have to lay aside their ambition and continue with the appointed positions they have. Do you see anytime soon that those officials you just mentioned will perhaps send in their resignation within the 3 days period?
Yeah.
Vanny, it seems like Vanny is facing some constraints. We hope he can reconnect with us. Oh, we hope Vanny can reconnect with us. This development is very interesting. It perhaps establishes our conversation. You see, the issue about that we continue to see the local authorities have begun to take, to challenge the process. That if you feel you have the people, if you believe that the people want you, right? Some of you have served appointed positions since this government came into power up until now. Some of you, there is no, you don't have any achievement whatsoever. Some of you just occupy those positions, and nothing you have done in supporting the government's agenda. But yet and still, you want to ascend to the legislature. You want to ascend to the legislature. So you feel that the Liberian people will vote you. Well, fine, and that's why the challenge is yours. Test the process, resign to your post, and go for it. If you win, well granted, and if you lose, then you know how you sort your ways out. In the rest of the time. And so we hope we can reconnect with Vanny. We hope Vanny rejoins us. If not, we go straight into our discussion. But folks, like we said, this is issues of today, lots of issues to discuss. Our menu is just so rich for discussion this morning. Oh my word, I'm trying to get this thing set up. I'm trying to get this thing set up. I'm trying to bring this thing on. Oh. I'm trying to bring it on. So, like you listen to Vanny, everything is said. If you feel that the process is safe, if you feel that you have the people, if you believe that you have the number to win elections, challenge the process, go for it. And perhaps if you win, well, that's fine. If you don't win, then the situation's yours. You know the rest of the time how well you're going to challenge the process. But folks, it's great to be here this morning. Lots of issues to discuss, like we said. Very, very shortly, we bring our guest on. Lots of issues to discuss on this development. Relatively to the just released our monitoring report on the performances of lawmakers at the legislature. We felt the need to bring the organization on this morning to have a conversation surrounding that, and So very shortly, we will join our guest. We're doing everything possible to bring him on. We're doing everything possible to bring him on, and once we have him on the television, we kickstart the conversation. You can use the headphone by Once we get it set from this side, all right. I think we have it here. Right here. Oh my word, this thing. And so we're going to go strictly in our conversation. Folks, good morning. And those of you just joining us, this is Good Morning Liberia on the Voice of Liberia. And it feels good. We hope to, we my word, where is this thing? You have to bear with us a bit. We do a little bit of adjustment. We do a bit of adjustment to be on. We'll go for the short break quickly. As we go for the short break quickly to be right back on the program.
Are you tired with slow internet? Do you want super fast and affordable internet? Telecel Liberia is here to provide all your internet service needs. The internet is moving at a fast pace, and only super fast internet speed can help you keep up. At Telecel, our internet packages are divided into distinct categories: Mega, Optimal, Premium, Elite, and Big Business that suits kids, universities, schools, hotels, beaches, homes, offices, urban areas, and much more. Anything is possible with Telecel Liberia. Get your own streaming box for Netflix, Amazon Prime, Showmax, and more. At Telecel, our amazing 24-hour customer service is there to help you with all your needs. Telecel Liberia, super fast speed, 24 hours technical support team, the best broadband and fiber optic internet service in Liberia. For more information, please call 0770-399-399 or 0881-399-399. Or stop by our office on 3rd Street Syncor, opposite the Carter Center and GLZ buildings. Visit our website, telecelliberia.com. Email us at info@telecelliberia.com. Telecel Liberia, the best internet service provider, is here for you. Telecel Liberia, connecting the unconnected.
I want to flex my love. I want to impress.
Are you tired with slow internet? Do you want super fast and affordable internet? Telecel Liberia is here to provide all your internet service needs. The internet is moving at a fast pace, and only super fast internet speed can help you keep up. At Telecel, our internet packages are divided into distinct categories: Mega, Optimal, Premium, Elite, and Big Business that suits kids, universities, schools, hotels, beaches, homes, offices, urban areas, and much more. Anything is possible with Telecel Liberia. Get your own streaming box for Netflix, Amazon Prime, Showmax, and more. At Telecel, our amazing 24-hour customer service is there to help you with all your needs. Telecel Liberia, super fast speed, 24 hours technical support team, the best broadband and fiber optic internet service in Liberia. For more information, please call 0770-399-399 or 0881-399-399. Or stop by our office on 3rd Street Syncor, opposite the Carter Center and GLZ buildings. Visit our website, telecelliberia.com. Email us at info@telecelliberia.com. Telecel Liberia, the best internet service provider, is here for you. Telecel Liberia, connecting the unconnected.
I want to flex my love.
And hey, Telecel Liberia is our sponsor. We encourage you to do business with Telecel Liberia as well in terms of your internet needs. Stop by at Telecel Liberia. We have with us, like we said, the Executive Director of the Institute for Research and Democratic Development, ARED for short, Mr. Matthias Yeden, joined us on the program this morning. And we'd love to kickstart the discussion. Good morning, and thanks for joining us.
Good morning.
You want to speak to the microphone? That's the way we're going to get you.
Good morning. I want to say thank you for inviting me, and I'm happy to be here.
Let's begin. How's How's your health? I mean, family-wise, how have you been doing in recent times?
I'm good. I'm good, and as you can see, I'm very energetic this morning, and I'm ready to work for my country and Liberians, and then see how we improve our democracy on the line of transparency, accountability, and good governance. So I'm here, and I'm doing good.
Yeah, certainly we are doing good. We're going to start a conversation relatively with how's the organization, the Institute of Research and Democratic Development doing in terms of some of the programs you want to look at, your recent involvement with the electoral process, especially the biometric voter registration exercise.
Look, so ARED is doing good. As a matter of fact, we are a member of the Elections Coordinating Committee. It's the biggest and largest elections monitoring group and observation group in Liberia. We've been able to sit on the board of the ECC. So as a member of the ECC, we are jointly monitoring and observing the biometric voter registration. The ECC released a report recently about an observation report about what they see has happened so far in the first 2 weeks of the registration, and there were challenges that were highlighted during the release in the statement. Issues on voter tracking. There were issues around the NEC having situation with their machines, the delay in the opening of the registration centers, the unavailability of cards, and the issue with printer and cartridge, not being available, and the delay in order to bring those materials, so logistical issues of concern that the NEC will need to address, especially learning from this first phase, so that it doesn't happen in the far distance, area like Grand Crew, Nimba, Maryland, Grand Judah, the Southeast and Lofa County, where it is even difficult to travel, and if you have cartridge, that is not available, it becomes a problem. And we even call on NEC to see how they can put additional dates on the voter registration process, because it might disenfranchise others who have not registered. In the morning when I get up at 5, driving, I see Liberians are in the queue to register. That means Liberians are very serious about change. What remains now is the quality of the decision that we make on October 10th.
Okay. And relatively to what you just mentioned, I listened to the commission some few days ago when they were very emphatic that there will be no extension in the term. And you, as our monitoring arm, at times you want to look at the challenges unfold as the process goes on, and you make recommendations to the institutions responsible as to what are the ways we can go about this thing. So when we listened to, the commission was very framed and reiterated their stance that they're going to remain on the date and time. Do you see any way forward as we move along that perhaps not all of those that are eligible to register in this period will be registered?
Yeah, I think Liberians should take up the opportunity. I also think that one reason why NEC is saying they're not going to extend is because of financial constraints. In order to extend these things, you will have to firstly extend the contracts of biometric voters, staff. You will have to pay them for the extra days you're extending. Logistics, you will have to add some funding for logistics, because it's something that they're going to request for. You're going to look at whether it is an issue on transportation, issue on everything that has to do with logistics. You will need to be able to factor this in. So it is a matter of fact of extra funding. If the government is in a position to provide that extra funding to NEC, then we think we can see, a kind of extension in the date for registration. But howbeit, with the limited resources that NEC has, that in fact what they have requested have not been given to them, there is a need for NEC to just continue with the same schedule, and I think it was within my mind, administratively prudent for them to continue with the same schedule because they do not have extra, funds to extend that. Until that the government can see reason to do that, I mean they are right because of funding, constraints.
Okay, we are going to move strictly now. It has been pretty close to 10 years, if I can recall. That's around 6-7 years now since you wrote out what you referred to as legislative monitoring scorecard, where you monitor lawmakers in terms of their attendance, their performance in plenary. You want to give us an overview about this whole idea about tracking lawmakers, how often do they go to work, and how many times they speak on the floor? It's a very huge task. I want to record that every time you are in section, ensuring that those lawmakers, are checkmated, they are recorded in terms of their attendance and how many times they speak in section. You want to give an overview of this idea?
Yeah, definitely. So, as an institution, we thought that it was necessary that this branch of government that should be holding all the other branches of government accountable, there is a need that the people of Liberia hold them accountable, and that can only be translated through civil society organizations that are structured, and are able to hold these people accountable. So we thought to establish what we call the legislative transparency, program, and under that legislative transparency program, we've been monitoring the legislature since 2009, and also reporting on the activities that is bordered upon and bordered on the three cardinal responsibilities of the lawmaker: lawmaking, representation, and oversight. So we've done this since 2009. We are not newcomers to this. This is not something that we are currently doing. Liberians have been able to hold their lawmakers accountable by the release of this report. So when it comes to credibility, you can say for sure that this is something that we've been doing over the time. So we are hugely trusted by Liberians. You will see that there has been some level of improvement as compared to 2009 up to now, as it relates to transparency of the legislature. Though sometimes the gains, are not, as compared to the challenges and what to do by reneging their feet on transparency, but we can say clearly that we have succeeded in certain points. There has been lawmakers who have actively engaged in plenary discussions. There have been lawmakers who were not engaging that have started to engage. There have been lawmakers who were not writing, have started to write, communications and sponsor bill or co-sponsor bills. There have been lawmakers who were not making reports to their constituencies, have started to make reports because they see that people are watching. Every time there is someone who's watching you, there is a tendency for you to do the right thing. And what we want is to help Liberians and help our lawmakers do the right thing so that Liberians can benefit from what from the reason why they elected them.
Before we come to the latest report, we want to look at every time when these kinds of reports come out, lawmakers, we want to have a whole lot of things to say surrounding it. At times, some will reject what you say in your report. Some will brand the report that against them and against what they stand for. All these things continue to surface as a report has come out. Since you released this report, there has been a lot of discussions in the public. At a certain point in time, some of the folks think that the report is targeting certain individuals. Have you had the time to listen to some of these conversations? And when it come out, I mean, how your institution view these kinds of discussions from the public?
You know, I like the way you place it, and let me also say that look, the interesting part is that this report, when a lawmaker, doesn't do well in the report, the lawmaker that lawmaker will condemn the report. And if the next year the lawmaker perform and the report capture that lawmaker has performed, the lawmaker will tend to heal the report and say, "Our is a credible institution, and the report is the best report ever released in Liberia." Then it becomes a problem as to, then it shows clearly that these are politicians. You cannot absolutely 100% take their words, and also you understand that when these reports are also based border on people being re-elected, their credibility, issue around transparency. So these are issues that have concern to Liberians, and so every politician who has been mentioned in the report will have some concerns. Will speak to the report, and that is the essence. That is one of the essences of the report, because it brings out the debate, and Liberians have to know exactly what is it that you're doing, and you need to justify why you did this or why you didn't do what was mentioned. So We've seen a lot of them. Every time we release a report, a lot of people, lawmakers will hear us. A lot of them will condemn us and say that is not the right thing. But what has happened is that no lawmaker has been able to prove, or disprove that what was recorded in our report is different from what they think was done by them. And so because what we do, we counter-check our report, we counter-check our documents, we have evidence, because we are a research institution and we are evidence-based. So we conduct evidence-based advocacy. And so by this, we clearly see, look, before we release the reports, we have 1 month of back and forth argument. Me and my staff program, and so and even finance people were part of this, the review of this. So we had a whole technical review of this particular report to argue back and forth on the T, on the ish, the RS, and then the numbers and so forth, and whether there are evidence to prove that this person was absent this number of times, this person did not present, a report and all of that. So it is. We do our own due diligence along the line. So it is not a surprising thing to me for a lawmaker to come and say, no, I didn't do this. It is everyone and who has a responsibility to defend themselves before the court of public opinion. And that's what they're doing.
Let's begin with the 2022 report now. The just released report. I love to place it. I want to look at first the methodology. The audience listening, at times this report come out, people only take the negative side of it at times. Sometimes people take, like you said, when that lawmaker feels he passed this year, he tend to reference our report in all of his undertakings. And at a certain point in time, when when the report captures that lawmaker has been underperformed, and they tend to burn it negatively. Let's look at the methodology you use to derive these various conclusions. That a lawmaker obtained this code, a lawmaker obtained this code. This lawmaker spoke the number of times he spoke in session.
So good. So let me say first that we had 52 Thursdays and 52 Tuesdays in 2002,
and
That's 2022.
Yeah, that 2022, and that shows the number of sections that should be held, in total for 2022. However, and in fact, that is what the Liberians pay their lawmakers for, to go to section, attend section, speak on behalf of them, write bills, and so forth through this process. So, but then the legislature sat less than the number of Tuesdays and Thursdays in the year. The legislature convened 67. The legislature convened 133 sittings, of which the Senate convened 67 times, and the House of Representatives convened 66 times. So we recorded these number of sittings, and we matched it. For example, for participation, we matched it to the number of time a lawmaker was present in section.
Okay.
So then we divided by 100, and the score is absolutely generated within the Excel spreadsheet. Okay. So look, when we say a lawmaker has F, which is poor, that means a lawmaker score from 0 to 50%. And when we say a lawmaker has C, which is 51 to 79%, which is fair, I mean he tried or she tried. When we say a lawmaker score good, which is B, which is 75 to 89%, and 90% above is A. So if a lawmaker has A, that means that lawmaker score 90 in either representation, in participation, or oversight. And those are the three cardinal responsibilities that we create a lawmaker from. So that is the methodology as which we hire. So we monitor the legislature from Tuesdays to Thursdays. Our staff, our monitors are there, identified by and recognized by the leadership of the House, and the Senate. We've been able to monitor it and report on them, even go, on Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays to see what are those reports, what are those things, additional information we can gather in order to support our report. So those are ways that we collect our data, and also collect information and grade the lawmakers as per the score that you see that is out in the public.
So it means that all of the times that the lawmaker, the plenary, or perhaps the both houses will be in section, your monitors, I honor the responsibility as well to also be in session and to track these lawmakers in terms of their participation and the number of times each of those lawmakers attend session.
Definitely, our monitors are attending section regularly, like lawmakers. They monitor them. They take pictorial photos of particular lawmakers and particular incidents, and they record certain things. They know exactly that they need to report the facts, and they report the facts, and what they do is recorded in our system. So they are there monitoring, and going to section, and even going there, and on non-section days in order to gather more information about our lawmakers.
Are monitors visible in section? That means because at times maybe you want to say those guys that you send on the field to ensure that the work is done. Sometimes they go in disguise. Sometimes they don't want to be noticed. And all of these things, your monitors always visible in section. That's to say, one can identify that this person or that person is our monitor and is monitoring the performances and participation of lawmakers.
Yes, our monitors are visible in section. They sit to where they have been commissioned to sit. They monitor from right in the chambers and see exactly where what is happening there, who's speaking, who's writing communication, who has been recognized to talk, So yeah, they are clearly visible, and as I said, the leadership of the legislature is aware of ARED, monitoring the legislature. We've formally introduced our and regularly introduce our monitors to the leadership, through a formal communication. And so, yeah, they are clearly identified and recognized.
Okay, all right. We move straightly into the report now. You have various forms of gradings. We want to begin with the Liberian Senate. There are some names of senators that came out in plenary in terms of those as score A. That is to say, they were enacted as per the way you underlined it. That was regular in sections. That means that those senators over the times were always saying the section. But one of the things that caught our attention as part of that category was that the last report, Senator Prince Moyi of Bon County obtained A+ in terms of his attendance. But to our uttermost surprise, in this current report, in terms of senators that performed that's called A, we didn't see Senator Moyi in that list. So it tends to someone is asking, how can a student that had A+ during the previous semester this time around has dropped even below the burden expected?
That is to tell you the performance of the student. Or the lawmaker doing section, because it clearly shows that yes, the person scored A the previous time, but this person dropped below the belt this time, and that's how the person has been representing their constituent. Senator Prince Moyi falls, he attended 57 sittings out of the 61 sittings, and was absent 4 times and was excused 6 times. So he falls pretty well with an average of 85, and then his grade is B. So I mean, for me, I think he's still doing well with attendance, just that the absent and excused and excused times that were recorded dropped his points to 85. So I would think that, I mean, he still have some time, especially this year, to push forward and do more and maintain the previous mark that he had during the 2021 release of the report.
There are 30 senators that make up the Liberian Senate. Out of those senators, your report referenced that only one senator scored F, who is Bowman County Senator Edwin Mervyn Snow. How is it possible that all of those, out of those 30 lawmakers, it is only Snow that failed in terms of attendance?
So this question, always comes up from one engagement I've gone to the other, and people are concerned about Edwin Snow. And I also think it's a very good thing that people are concerned about their lawmaker and why did he score this grade. If you see from the scorecard, that you will see that Honorable Edwin Snow, out of the 64 sections that were held, he attended 40 of those 64 sessions. He was absent 21 times, of these 64 sessions, and he was excused 6 times. And yes, he was excused. He was distanced 6 times and excused once. So automatically he fall below 59, so which is F. Look, we will record the number of times that a lawmaker was excused. We also record the number of times that a lawmaker was distanced. We also record the number of times that a lawmaker was present. So we will not record the number of times that we think in our minds with no proof that a lawmaker is on an international, duty, and therefore the whole country knows about it. Therefore, we go as per what the popular will says, that the lawmaker is out of country. Look, there has been times in our country where government officials have gone to programs, and have been there for maybe 2-3 days, and then they go merrymaking. There have been times that government officials, have fallen into problems because they went merrymaking on official duties. So we will not record times that there hasn't been an official communication to that effect, to say that this lawmaker is distanced. That means he's working from afar on behalf of the Liberian people and the Liberian Senate or the House of Representatives. So in plenary attendance, and I want people to be clear that in plenary attendance, Honorable Ernest Snow, score 59, which is F. That means he failed in plenary attendance. He was absent with no excuse, official excuse, 21 times out of the 67 sections that were attended.
How does that affect the workings of the legislature at a certain point in time? When you have, when these kinds of reports come out on those lawmakers that excuse section without any justifiable cause. Like you mentioned, the distance you spoke of means the person might be working on behalf of the Liberian people, but is far away. And at times, the excuse they place into the Liberian Senate that we're going to be out for this reason or that reason. But your report validates that over pretty close to 20 different times, Honorable Snow has been excused from absent from session without whether he was on official duty for the country, or perhaps he placed an excuse, or just decided to stay away, not taking into consideration it is the Liberian people tax that is used to pay him.
It affects the legislature in a way that it undermines transparency and accountability, because you must be accountable. Look, when you go to school, the only evidence to show that you went to class today, your parents will ask you for, is the notes that you took when you went to class, or probably maybe the pamphlet and the lecture notes. So if you cannot provide, that hard evidence of a lecture note from class, even if you want to convince people that you went to class, they will need the evidence to show. So we are just saying that we are just encouraging all lawmakers, not just Honorable Edwin Snow, but all lawmakers who, represent Liberia at various parliaments, to be able to bring their reports from these parliaments. Look, we said it last year. We've been saying it over and over. We're going to say it again.
It is very important for lawmakers, for politicians, for anybody for that matter who was sent on an assignment or who was given a piece of job to do, to officially report. That is how you show that you are accountable to the people who you represent and people who elected you. That is to show how transparent you are in your dealings and the number of days that you spent at that particular locale, and everything representing the people. And that's, look, if these things do not happen, it affects the credibility of and transparency of the legislature. It affects decision making, because it becomes a difficult situation for you to hold people accountable when you yourself, you are not accountable. And that is what it does. It makes the people of Liberia to not trust their lawmakers. And these are people who have been entrusted with funds and the authority to decide on behalf of us. So they must live up to the expectation.
3 3 representatives. We want to conclude this thing about attendance before we come to the main point. This issue about participation. 3 representatives for two times in a row have failed in terms of attendance. Representative Samuel Enders of District Number 6, the last report graded him F. This current report graded him F. Representative Lawrence Morris of District 1, Monserrate County, the last report graded him F. This current report graded him F. And Representative Yeke Kodubara as well of District Number 10, the last report he failed, he got F. And this current report, again, he got F. 3 of Monserrate lawmakers continually failed in terms of attendance. What this means for the county and perhaps those they represent at the House of Representatives.
It means a lot for the county, for Monserrate, that you will see majority of the lawmakers from, in fact, just excluding, in fact, all majority of the lawmakers from Monserrate, which is at the House of Representatives, specifically, excluding Honorable Karos Moses Gray, of the House of Representatives, where not always in section. That is, it affects the decision making of the county. It affects representation. The people of Monserrate have been underrepresented in 2002. In 2022. Pointing from this report, there. Look, even Honorable Thomas Falla is also another person who, as per the 3, as per last year report, who is also, captured in this report of scoring F, continuously, recorded with what has happened so far, at the legislature. So you see that Monserrate here is being underrepresented, and there's no way that is not visible. It is visible through the allocation of social development funds, is visible through the allocation of things that should come to Monserrate County. Is also visible through what you see as Liberians, as to how these lawmakers represent Monserrate. And quite frankly, all of us are in Monserrate County. We have voting rights here. We've been able to register and vote. We voted on several occasions. But if our lawmakers are not attending session regularly, they are not debating the issues on behalf of our county, then it tends to be a problem, because Liberians, are being underrepresented.
When these kinds of reports come out from civil society organizations like yours, it leaves the constituents to wonder that the actions of those lawmakers perhaps could be something deliberate that a lawmaker just intended to do. Because if we listen from what you speak, that the previous account branded UF, to some extent, it could perhaps increase your appetite, to do the people's job. Like we saw Rosalind Dennis, for instance. Last report, Brenda her act, and this current report, she has graduated from the F category, and I believe she's, to some extent, I don't know as per her grading now. So it tells that sometimes these reports should serve as an encouragement to these lawmakers and challenge them to do the people's job. But when we listen, you civil society organizations speak this way, it tells that even those that are elected to represent the people haven't come to a point to realize that the job they have, it is an honorable thing to serve the people.
So I think it's for Liberians to judge and see whether these lawmakers take the reason why they were elected seriously. This has also, of course, you say there are lawmakers who are improved in representation and in participation, and also in lawmaking, because this is why they were elected. What do you go back to your community to say that I have done this, and this is what I've done at the legislature, and this is where I'm going, and this is exactly providing your report to the legislature. You've not been able to do that. So this is something that needs to be done. Liberians now need to see their lawmakers at work and grade them, and reward them handsomely come October 10.
5 representatives scored the highest marks in plenary participation. It brings us to a very key point of discussion. Amongst them, I Representative Akaras Gray of Mosurado County, 27 terms according to your report. Representative Richie Korn, 27 terms. Ava Joan of District 223, Rosalind Dennis as well, like we said, 21, and Dixon Sebo, 20. Out of 73 lawmakers, we have at least 5 that were always vocal in plenary. What do you make of the performance of other lawmakers in terms of their participation in plenary discussions?
So you will find out that there are other lawmakers who have not fully participated in plenary sections, and I don't know for what reason they have not, but they have not even placed their hands up to be recognized by the presiding or the speaker or deputy or presiding for the day, to speak on these issues. There are other lawmakers who have taken up the opportunity to be, to speak on the issues, that concern their constituent. And I think it's something that should be laudable. It's something that Liberians should hear, because these lawmakers were sent there to talk on behalf of their people, and this is what they are doing. For those lawmakers who have perpetually remained mute and have not spoken at all for the number of sections since January 11 to December 8, it is appalling, because that is part of your role as a lawmaker. Debate, plenary debate is part of your role. How do your people know you are representing them? You've not written any communication. You've not been able to to sponsor a bill or co-sponsor a bill, and you've not spoken. So what exactly are you doing at the legislature when you've not done all of these things? And this is for Liberians to see the performance of their lawmakers. These are people who are being paid by taxpayers' money. These are people who ride the most luxurious cars in the country. And if they are not performing as to what they've been paid to do, then it's for Liberians to decide what happens. But it is for us to point out these people and tell Liberians that this lawmaker is not performing and this one is performing, and it's for you to decide on what you do. Look, in the words of Ambassador McCarthy, he said, if Liberians will again elect corrupt officials who are not transparent in their dealings, officials who are not accountable, then it's up to Liberians, and it shows that Liberians, it will show as to whether Liberians are serious or are not serious for change, and for growth. And that is what I want to say to Liberians, that we need to be serious with what we do and who represent us, because we need to be able to hold these people accountable.
One of the areas as well that has raised eyebrows relatively to the performances of those representatives. Quickly, we take this thing. Three of those lawmakers who have yet to speak in plenaries. Amongst them is Abu Kamara of District 15. District 15 is a very, very critical district, especially situated in Mosurado. When such a report come out from that, Honorable Abu Kamara has deliberately has refused to speak in plenary. It sends a very bad message for him, especially during this period that we are closer to elections.
I mean, it is for him to also know and Liberians to know that this is what is visible. Journalists who usually attend, a plenary attest to these things. So it's something that is done. Something that people that are usually done. People monitor these things. So Honorable Kamara have not been participating in plenary debate. Last year he did not speak a word, and this year he did not. And the year before last he did not speak a word, and last year he did not. Look, we will continue to recall people who do not speak, people who speak, and every lawmaker on everything they do. At the legislature, and because it is our responsibility that the Liberian people have given us and they trust us to do this work, we're going to continuously do this on behalf of Liberians.
Okay, we're going to do it on behalf of Liberians. It's important we see you take 1 or 2 calls. If not, our guest is pressed with time. He has some other engagement. It's a very fruitful conversation. We see you take 1 or 2 calls, folks. 0770907907907, 08809079007. The numbers will squeeze this person in. Good morning and thanks for joining us.
Good morning to the voice of Liberia family. Good morning to my senior brother in studio here. By the way, the introduction, this is Alfonso A.S. Kamara, calling for district number 10.
Alfonso, quickly, let's hear you.
Thank you. Our senior brother has just said, you see this guy there who put it in power to represent us, they are not doing well. And all of those people that in power at this time in point, they didn't know that this coming October 10, we send a kind message and we mention it because none of them do well for us. When they say so, you can call them and remain in our house at our end.
Okay, we squeeze the person as well. Good morning, thanks for joining us.
Good morning, SP, and for the people of Liberia.
Quickly, McLean Rano, let's hear you.
Activist McLean Rano, and I do join you guys this morning from CEO. Let me comment, you guys are doing the job by reading the Arab report. However, if you were to severally read the Arab report, you get to read as well in fact, vast majority of the 103 lawmakers never performed. But quickly, I want to extend my deepest thanks and appreciation to the Arab family, and most importantly, Senator Abraham the law for performing overwhelmingly for the people of Liberia vis-a-vis Massachusetts County. Thank you for the opportunity.
Thank you. I believe that we'll take any more calls. The calls are so many. We have to leave you right there. Our guest here has notified that he has some other engagements, obviously. Listen, quickly, what's your final message to Liberians and those listening? For those that have read the report, how do you see them? How do you wish that they will use the report so that they make decisions as we come?
So we want to say thanks to the Liberians for trusting us in making this to happen. ARED stands, ready to continuously do this work. We also want to say it is for them to to use this report, hold meetings with their lawmakers, question them, and it is also their right to ask the hard questions and making sure that our lawmakers perform in plenary. Liberians, politicians owe us a lot, and we should be able and ready to ask the hard questions and demand better for our country. And this is one way we can do that, and you can also use that to also inform you as to how you make a decision come October 10. Thank you.
Okay, he's Matthias Yinin, the Executive Director of the Institute of Research and Democratic Development, been our guest on this first segment. We'll go for this break to be right back.
Beaches, homes, offices, urban areas, and much more. Anything is possible with Telecel Liberia. Get your own streaming box for Netflix, Amazon Prime, Showmax, and more. At Telecel, our amazing 24-hour customer service is there to help you with all your needs. Telecel Liberia, super fast speed, 24 hours technical support team, the best broadband and fiber optic internet service in Liberia. For more information, please call 0770-399-399 or 0881-399-399. Or stop by our office on 3rd Street Syncor, opposite the Carter Center and GLZ buildings. Visit our website, telecelliberia.com. Email us at info@telecelliberia.com. Telecel Liberia, the best internet service provider, is here for you. Telecel Liberia, connecting the unconnected.
I want to flex my love. I want to impress.
Are you tired with slow internet? Do you want super fast and affordable internet? Telecel Liberia is here to provide all your internet service needs. The internet is moving at a fast pace, and only super fast internet speed can help you keep up. At Telecel, our internet packages are divided into distinct categories: Mega, Optimal, Premium, Elite, and Big Business that suits kids, universities, schools, hotels, beaches, homes, offices, urban areas, and much more. Anything is possible with Telecel Liberia. Get your own streaming box for Netflix, Amazon Prime, Showmax, and more. At Telecel, our amazing 24-hour customer service is there to help you with all your needs. Telecel Liberia, super fast speed, 24 hours technical support team, the best broadband and fiber optic internet service in Liberia. For more information, please call 0770-399-399 or 0881-399-399. Or stop by our office on 3rd Street, Syncor, opposite the Carter Center and GLZ building. Visit our website, telecelliberia.com. Email us at info@telecelliberia.com. Telecel Liberia, the best internet service provider, is here for you. Telecel Liberia, connecting the unconnected.
I want to flex my love. I want to impress.
Are you tired with slow internet? Do you want super fast and affordable internet? Telecel Liberia is here to provide all your internet service needs. The internet is moving at a fast pace, and only super fast internet speed can help you keep up. At Telecel, our internet packages are divided into distinct categories: Mega, Optimal, Premium, Elite, and Big Business that suits kids, universities, schools, hotels, beaches, homes, offices, urban areas, and much more. Anything is possible with Telecel Liberia. Get your own streaming box for Netflix, Amazon Prime, Showmax, and more. At Telecel, our amazing 24-hour customer service is there to help you with all your needs. Telecel Liberia, super fast speed, 24 hours technical support team, the best broadband and fiber optic internet service in Liberia. For more information, please call 0770-399-399 or 0881-399-399. Or stop by our office on 3rd Street, Syncor, opposite the Carter Center and GLZ building. Visit our website, telecelliberia.com. Email us at info@telecelliberia.com. Telecel Liberia, the best internet service provider, is here for you. Telecel Liberia, connecting the unconnected.
I want to flex my love.
Okay, Telecel Liberia is our sponsor. Like we always say on this program, we encourage you. Where is this thing? Well, we encourage you to follow, to do business with Telecel Liberia. Trust me, you won't regret in terms of the internet. To solve all of your internet needs. There is a need that you stop by at Telecel Liberia and do business with them. There is this where is this development? I'm trying to get this thing on. Like we said, we had initially scheduled the spokesperson of the aggrieved employees of the Ministry of Transport to appear this morning on the program. But due to some other reasons, he couldn't make his way this morning. But there are several issues. Jasper White, we wish we could. Jasper White should have been on the program at this time but due to some other reasons, he just notified me that he's unable to appear. But no matter how the situation is, it is important we place emphasis on this issue about remunerations, the salaries and benefits of workers under this government. This thing is affecting those that are working in government, and it's affecting those that are indirectly in the employment of government. Because what happens is, firstly, you must establish that in spite you are a business person, that despite you are a businessman, you are a businesswoman, you are a politician and you are not working perhaps with the government, it doesn't negate the fact that this action, a government not paying people what they should be benefiting, in terms of the salaries, how many or how much do Liberia earn, it should be a matter of concern to you. Because, for instance, those of you that are doing business, you depend on those that are working to come and purchase from you. That's the flow. So when a man is not making, something good, what he's getting cannot even sustain him and his family. Just mean his purchasing power will be reduced to a greater extent. That man will reduce his purchasing power. So, for instance, if he used to buy 2 cups of rice from you, he'll be buying half cup. So what that means is that the rice bag you used to buy at that time and spend 2 days and finish will now spend up to 6, 7, or even 2 weeks before it finishes, right? So what will happen is that the length of time your business will be affected. That's firstly you must establish. So you need to develop a mind that if government is not paying its employees, it is affecting you indirectly. Perhaps it might not be, perhaps you are not able into that situation. So you claimed that it has no direct effect on you, but no, it is affecting you as well. That's why you see today in Liberia, business people continue to complain that their business is not going, that they buy their goods, spend longer time with them than expected. Because they play, where the money should come from to reach you. There's a serious problem. Where, those that have the purchasing power, those that should come out, are the ones that have been affected to a higher extent. So what will happen is that the man will consider his children's health, his children's school fees, right? And so his priorities now will be reduced, right? And focus on the most essential. That's why you see today people complain that we buy this goods, we buy this thing, this time, no business, no flow, everything we can just understand. You will not understand as long as this thing continue to happen, continue to persist. It's because that those that are in the employ of government that should be reaching out to you after the 30 days are the ones complaining. We had a Liberia before that after 30 days, the whole country is juicy. But today, this current Liberia after 30 days, that's when even the situation, the problems increases, and even the way it is. That after the 30 days, you don't even see. There are folks in this government that are working over the past 3-4 years. They are yet to understand why they are working. There are folks in this government that are working. After the 3-4 years, they will tell you, my brother, we are only living at the mercy of life. There are evidence upon evidence. You move from one government ministry to another, the situation is just so unique. The last time it was at the Ministry of Information, where employees at that ministry were protesting over the demand for increasement in salaries. The last time it was at the Ministry of Health, where the employees at that entity were demanding that there is a need that salary be increased. And just a night ago, it was at the Ministry of Transport. What runs to mind when these things are happening on the government? What runs to mind when civil servants continue to complain of the ways they have been ill-treated, the ways that they have been marginalized or harassed? And you just listen to the hour report. You have lawmakers that are making 6, 7, 8,000 per month. That are making 5, 50, 100,000. They're having 100, 150 gallons of gas allotted to them. They don't even go to work. They are flying planes around, going on their private lives and what have you. The civil servants are charged with the responsibility to ensure that the government, the day-to-day running of the government is achieved. The civil servants are charged with the responsibility to ensure that at the various ministries and agencies, all of what is needed to be done is done. Those civil servants are the ones that their pay is being pushed out to a higher extent to pay those officials, are the ones that continue to complain. Something caught my attention yesterday. Not about the protest, because for me I see it to be a normal thing that from one ministry to another, the issue about protest is just around. So when I see people protesting, it don't really, caught my attention until I see something, at times I want to listen. I saw a mother yesterday that told me that she was working with an Indian man, an Indian businessman. She was working in the store as a janitor, and she was making $115, $120. So when the George Weah government, this current government, 2018 took over, 2019, she had this offer, and she needed to go to the Ministry of Transport with an understanding that she's going to be one of those agents, I don't know, one of those few agents, and her salary was 170, 175, up until the harmonization came. So with an understanding that after all taxes, everything is being left, at least she could have made 150, 140 we're going to be okay. But that lady let me to know that from after the harmonizations came up to present, her salary has seen exceeded $60, sometimes $58, sometimes only $62. Then it means that she has made more from that time up to present. There's a lady that regretted why she's working for government, and I asked her, why you continue to work? Because she said there is no other way. Imagine I had to leave from that Indian man who I felt that I was marginalized, who I felt that as a Liberian, I cannot be making $120 on this government. On a foreign national, which of course the decent work at by that time was the reliance of every Liberian. In 2015, 2016, we can record that prior to the CDC government taking over, that's one of the things they encourage most of you civil servants, that the government cannot commit herself, that this law says you cannot, whether private or public sector, no one should make below 150. That after taxes, everything has been deducted, no one should make below 150. So it was one of the things that the CDC government campaigned against, stood for, that there is a need that Liberians should make at least 150 after that law was passed. That today those that said the law is the law are the ones that are saying the law is the law, but there are times that every law there's an exception, every law there are challenges, and sometimes it baffles me. It leaves me wondering as to what kind of leaders we have in this country. That when you are in opposition, you stand firmly, and that's when you see all of the wrongs, that's when you see these things to be wrong, and you want to correct them. When you take over to correct them, it becomes a problem. When you take over, that's when you say, the law is the law, why it's true that the Decent Work Act calls for $150, the minimum wage for those in public and private sector. But the government is challenged. There is no money. There is no money, but lawmakers' salaries are not delayed. There is no money, but those lawmakers continue to earn a very huge, huge amount. At the end of the month, some of them make $7,000, $8,000. Ministers, $5,000, $6,000. You know that $5,000 for a minister, how many civil servant salaries equivalent? Sometimes, if you want to do a mathematics, let's be very practical. Let's be very practical on this. And I want us to take our pen and paper. Let's be very, very practical on this. So, for instance, assuming that a representative is making $8,000. Those civil servants should be making $150 per the minimum wage. So, if the mathematics that we stand, the 150 is about 53 civil servant salary. So 53 civil servant salary is what we put together to pay one lawmaker. per month. Just the U.S. component. I don't want to speak to the labor component salary. Just the U.S. component, 53,777 pay. 150. If you are making 150, so assuming now they drop the minimum money to 70, 60, between 60 to $80. So let's take it at $80. The 8,000 at $80. So now it stands that one lawmaker salary, that 100 civil servant salary right there. One lawmaker salary is 100 civil servant salary. 100 of you, your salary is one lawmaker salary. That's why when these officials come to you, they should be checkmated on what they're doing and making such a money. Ministers of government, some of them make 6,000, some of them make 5,000, assuming 5,000, and you are being paid $80 per month. So it's about 62 civil servants paid they use for one minister. These are the folks I will tell you that no money. These are the folks that will tell you that and these are the folks that will say to you that there is no money. But like we said, Liberia will get better. Obviously, like we said, Liberia will get better. And times move by, we'll have these kinds of conversations. But like we said, folks, we have a series of discussions. Like I told you, there are lots of conversations that we're going to go on. But as time goes by, this Liberia we are building, these things will change. Yeah, there will be progress in this country. But folks, we want to bring on Marcin Kpakio. Marcin Kpakio, or sometimes referred to Max Mezo, is the head of Justice Forum Liberia. We've been having these back-to-back conversations relative to, on yesterday, it was something, I don't want to say dramatic because he's always noted for that. You want to place your hair for him. Many a times we have seen him engage into series of these kinds of engagements. So for me, it's not strange. But on yesterday, we saw he led a protest at the grounds of the Ministry of Foreign Affairs and the proliferation of drugs in this country. And there is a need that government take heed and act promptly so that the lives of our youth will be saved. And so we extend an invitation to him at a very short notice last night that there is a need to have these kinds of conversations. And thankfully we have him on. Good morning, and thanks for joining us.
Well, the pleasure always mine. I want to say thank you very, very much. Thanks to the Voice of Liberia family for always giving us the opportunity where we can actually come and share our thoughts on national issues relative to what we do at Justice Forum Liberia, and that is to advocate for social justice. So the pleasure is always ours. I
must admit, on this platform, you took me by surprise. Last night, you already had a scheduled engagement when I hit you up, and you were like, Harris, I already had a very tight schedule, but howbeit, let me see how I can wet my ways. Honestly, I must admit, I was at any point in time forgetting about you. But thankfully, this is what we call series to country. At every point in time when you are called upon, you make yourself available. That's one of the characteristics of a leader. We must acknowledge that on this platform. Thank you. Thanks so kindly for honoring our invite. We'll move strictly now to the remaining minutes we have in our conversation. Yesterday we saw to you. You led a protest at the grounds of the foreign ministry, calling on government to take due cognizance about the proliferation of drugs in this country. First, they gave us an understanding about what Justice Forum Liberia has observed in terms of the proliferation of illegal substances and drug abuse in this country.
Well, yes, indeed. Yesterday we were out where we had an assembly opposite the Foreign Ministry by the fence of the University of Liberia. Reason being is that last week when we went to visit the Foreign Ministry, when we came out, we saw our mothers were there with placards And our equity, as usual, we decided to stop by to find out as to what was going on. And when we got there, our mothers explained to us that they were there to raise an awareness with respect to the drug, which is now killing young people, known as Kush, Kush, as it is spelled. Kush, when we asked them as to what was their concern, they told us that bulk of them, in fact, majority of them are from the Soniwan community, and so their children, in fact, about 3 mothers were there who have just recently lost their children, some of them in 10th grade, 11th, 12th grade. And
to the substance.
And so it was a emotional day with emotional time with them over there, and they told us that we are tired of seeing our children being portrayed and being lured into this particular scenario wherein they end up losing their lives. So we are here to raise the awareness. We want people to know, we want our government to know, we want everybody to know that something wrong is going on in our community, and all of us need to get involved. So we spent time with them, and they also came up with the suggestion that the following Monday, which was yesterday, that they were going to reassemble as well. So then we made a commitment, Justice from Liberia made a commitment to them that we will join them as well, because this is a national call. We're talking about young people, young generation being destroyed. So we decided to join, to actually come out yesterday. Yesterday we went there. We were there for about 2 hours at least with our banners. We were there to assemble and to send a signal out as well, to add our voice to the voices of our mothers, to cry out to everybody, to tell them that indeed Liberia is under attack by drug, and Liberia is seriously being undermined by virtue of drugs being in the country. And now this new wave of drug that is coming in the country, which is referred to as Kush, is destroying a lot of young people. We are sitting down supremely, and it's like nothing is happening beyond our yards. But so we, Justice from Liberia, now have decided that we want to take on this fight, to include it on the list of shisha that we're fighting for to ban in Liberia. And so yesterday we had a discussion with the LMA at the barrack, opposite the barrack there. So we told them that we would want them to get involved as well, the marketers and things. So from today to Friday, we will be at various market points where we'll be raising the profile of this substance, so that next Monday at 10 o'clock or 9 o'clock we all can meet right opposite the foreign ministry there with our posters.
There are different kinds of substances that these our youth taking. Why is it as a specific emphasis has been placed on this one you refer, that's been referred to as Kush? I want to believe that I've heard in the populous world that they have some they call it trauma dog. They have some, there are different names. Why those folks that you are helping to achieve on this fight so specific on the Kush?
Yeah, my understanding is that Kush actually, unlike tramadol, you can even get in the drugstore. It's a prescribed medication, except I don't even know how they are getting tramadol outside. But on the issue of Kush, according to our investigation, in fact, we were told that it is not even being made here, but rather from Nigeria, and it's now also a kind of making its way in Sierra Leone as well. And the reason being is that the stories behind it. Yesterday we went to Soniwan, and we're going back tomorrow to actually go in the ghettos and see for ourselves. But the stories that are behind this killer disease now, which is known as Kush, the story behind it is horrible and very, very horrific. Mothers were describing how they saw their children dying with, blood coming out of their nose, blood coming from their ears, before even they lose them also to this drug. So it means that this substance is hugely powerful to the extent that within a minute the child is alive, within a minute that particular young person is gone. So because of the wave of the death is occurring now within the young people, within the corner of the young people, we have decided to, heavily get involved and raise the profile of it. And that's why we decided that next Monday, 9 o'clock, we want to invite everybody, every citizen who is, every one of you that that is a father, that is a mother, that will be a father, that will be a mother, to please let's meet 9 o'clock in the morning of Monday next week, right opposite the Foreign Ministry. One of the reasons that we have decided, I know that is not a legislature government seat there, that is not the president's seat there, but that area, to me personally, since we do not have a national park that we can go and assemble, it's a very dedicated area because it has a huge junction there that, if people are accessing the foreign ministry, they will see our posters.
Yeah.
If people are going to work in town, whether you go into the Capitol building or executive mansion, you will definitely see us there and think. Even if you're taking the right turn, you go into the University of Liberia also, you will stay, see us. So it's a dedicated area. That's why we decided to choose that place as well. So we are very concerned about what is happening in the country.
It appears to be like an emotional discussion because
It is.
I too want to sense as to those young individuals that have lost their lives to the substance. At times when we have these kinds of conversation, we don't want to limit the conversation like many would think. At times we want to blame those youth that are already into the substance. At times we want to look at where are the problems coming from. Who are
Yeah.
those that are initiating these
Thank you.
things in the society?
Thank you.
Have you had an understanding about why is it that drugs continue to infiltrate our Liberian society, despite the efforts being rolled out by the Drugs Enforcement Agency and other relevant government institutions as well?
Thank you. Yeah. Even yesterday, when we made a very brief stop at the Intellectual Center of Soniwen, where we are due tomorrow to go engage the community there. We're going to address them on this particular issue. One thing I think there was a fellow who asked me the same question as well as to, in fact, he was trying to blame the young people who are consuming the product as well. But I told him, I said, I don't think we should blame the young people. We should blame ourselves, those of us that call ourselves adults and fathers. Because these young people, like I said, I mean, somebody being in 11th grade, 12th grade, and you just lost them like that. That's a child, and thing. They are under pressure due to peer pressure as well. And, of course, they want to fit in the society, even if they don't have the means to fit in that society. They still want to be a part of it or so. But the problem here with drugs issue is that I think the authorities are kind of lackadaisical about it. I'm not seeing the kind of a force coming out. Look, we cried out to our legislatures with respect to the drugs law of this land. The bill was passed according to them, was signed. And it's not all about just putting this black and white together. We're talking about action. Drugs are not being manufactured here. No, nobody is producing drugs here. I mean, I'm talking about substances that kill individuals. They are all coming from out of the country, out of Liberia. So, our borders, are needed to be tightened as far as investigating drug trafficking is concerned, and then also I think authorities through the Ministry of Justice must come out strongly on those that will be caught with importing drugs, even those that will be caught in consuming them. We can help them out of the system. But first of all, the root cause is the importation of it. It is coming from different parts of the world. So we need to get to the bottom of it to seal our borders. If one individual is caught, regardless of their position in power, let them face the full weight of the law. Let them go to jail. There are other countries that they catch you with drugs, you are dead. You sentenced to death. I mean, I'm not calling for death penalty, but I think measures that we should be taking for harsh punishment to set an example have to be put in place. And we call on our legislatures to do this.
We want to look at the government at times when you have these kinds of conversations. We say they have made some strides, especially with the passage of the drugs law that is before, that's in the final state of conclusion. You want to look at, in recent times, the DEA has been very, very much engaged. You want to look at the 100 million, the 37 million other notable drug cases in this country that the DEA has been very vocal on. But yet and still today you go around there, it appears to be that there is nothing has changed. It appears to be that no matter, despite the fight against the drugs ranging from the legislature up to the DEA and the government, it still appears that on a daily basis Liberians, the young people, continue to be victim of the systems. Then now it establishes a different conversation. Now, what can we do as a country? It establishes a conversations that how can we change the narratives? What are the different strategies that we can employ so that if we're working in this way, we are not getting results. How can we do it so that we get the desirable results we need as a country?
Look, results are not difficult to get. When you happen to confiscate 10 kilo of marijuana or so, there's a source of it. Somebody brought it.
Yeah, it has to be.
So obviously, at the end of the day, it's not only about putting the drugs outside and telling us that you're burning it. Okay, but who is behind the drugs that you arrested or you confiscated and you're burning today? So what I am saying here, that if at all drugs are confiscated and there is a root cause that brought that particular or brought the drugs on the shore, then that particular route have to be cut. And the only way you can cut it is why? Charge the person, send them to court, prosecution take place, and then openly somebody is sentenced. And then the others will hear and people will begin to get afraid. But I think the issue of all celebrating impunity in this country is causing serious problems for everybody. And the majority that are now going to be affected will be the young generation, which we are at Justice Forum Liberia, we are very, very concerned about. The drug dealers are not just young people that have the ability to leave from here and go abroad and import drugs here. No, these are responsible or people that are supposed to be responsible in society. Those greedy set of people that thinks that they can only live at the detriment of somebody's life being taken away. Those are the people that we need to get behind. Those are the people that we need to weed out of our society. If we do not, if the authorities do not take measures that actually will stop the importation of drugs or drug trafficking in Liberia, I mean, there's a huge disaster that's hanging over this country, wherein the generations upon generations will be damaged, and human resource capacity of Liberia will be seriously questioned.
Let's look at, you have had a time to travel in some parts of the country, which of course in some part of the world. We follow Justice from Liberia. You have been engaging in all parts of the world, in some parts of the world as we speak. Why do you think that majority of those drugs dealers are so concentrated on Liberia than other countries?
Well, I wouldn't want to limit it. It's squarely only on Liberia. The last time when the trainees of the Interpol Liberia were graduating, we were invited at the Liberia National Police, where ECOWAS, the United Nations, all of them were represented. We spoke there. It's a worldwide concern thing as far as drug is concerned, drugs use and drugs trafficking is concerned. Even in the United Kingdom, where I reside today, yes, they do. Sometimes they do manage to pass through, but then at the end, sometimes the traces are there and they will grab somebody, and they are giving good number of years to go to jail. Liberia is of no exception in terms of drug trafficking being a serious issue. But what is of concerning is that the fact that we are lenient in terms of the justice system taking a course on these matters. If only the justice system was really strong enough, or the prosecuting arms of the Republic of Liberia was actually in sympathy with the victims, then by now we will not be talking about this. Because if you are caught and the law says that you should go to jail for 10 years, you should go to jail for 15 years, and you are sentenced for those number of years, obviously at the end of the day, many will be afraid that nobody can venture around here with drugs. But it is saddening as well, as a citizen of Liberia, for me to even hear the last time from the American ambassador, by virtue of America speaking to us directly, that Liberia is now being used as a country of transit for drugs and transit for even money laundering. This is not healthy for our country at all. It's a bad name. For some of us that even travel, by the time you reach to that airport, you descend or so, and the people, immigration service get their itinerary for countries that people come from or so. The next thing they're asking you on the side, come in here, put your bag here, open your bag, checks and whatever. Or, this thing is happening to us now at various international airports.
Okay.
Before then, no, it never used to be. But then it's even going to get worse now by virtue of America coming out now to say openly that indeed Liberia is being used as a drug transit, which is really, really bad. It is all because our justice system is being very lenient on these issues. And the issue of drugs is seriously impacting our society. And if we are not careful, and if we don't act now, generations upon generations will be destroyed before even they come.
He's Marcin Pakion, the head of the Justice Forum Liberia. They will have a conversation surrounding the proliferation of drugs usage, illicit drugs and substance abuse in this country. Indeed, the organization feels the need that there is time that Liberians place the issue about drug as a national emergency, just as the same way we declare rape as a national emergency in this country. Your organization, you're working across Liberia, aside from Sony where we are using now as a case study, and want to believe that across all our communities in Mosorado, the same thing persists, that there are young people that continue to fall prey to the substance. But have you had the time to listen to all the Liberians from across the 15 political subdivisions? As per their own take towards this thing about drugs in this country, whether it's that this kush thing we speak of in Mosorado has entered Grand Bazaar, how is it that, or whether this kush thing that we speak of has entered Sano County? Have you had the time to listen to some Liberians from across the country?
Yes, we've gotten a few comments and a few statements as well. But let me start off like when I said last week when our mothers converged at the front of the foreign ministry. Some of them actually came from Lockingtown, and I managed to talk with some of them, and they admitted that indeed the drug is also there. Some of them came from Newtown, and they also admitted that indeed it's a serious problem, that kush is also in the community there. So by virtue of Mosorado being almost like overshadowed by this kush thing, is spreading. I remember we were in Zredru early part of this year, and when we engaged the intellectuals there before we left Zredru to come back to Monrovia, we were telling them about the effect of shisha that we have noticed now is taking shape in Liberia. We were able to do a presentation on shisha and told our young people that were there, the intellectuals that were there, to help us to spread the message and educate the young people about the effect of shisha. And we gave them vivid description of it and showed them photograph as to what shisha will cause in your body if you smoke shisha for a very long time. You will be shisha will damage your even make you to be somebody that you won't be able to have a child tomorrow.
Well, someone may say
young people
it is
as
internationally
well.
recognized
It's
and
not
all
inter-
around the world.
No, no,
we
it's
see.
not. It is not. I mean, even in the Great United Kingdom, where I am, if you are found, if your neighbor happen to, it's banned. Let me put it first. It's banned, and a lot of African countries have banned it. Even the latest now is Cameroon that banned it. I think in 2020, a lot of countries, even within the close borders here, West Africa, they have banned the smoking and sale of shisha. If you are caught, you go to jail, you pay fine as well. And so, because we have served a petition, a study case petition as well to the health committee on health, both at the Senate and the legislative level. We served them these petitions, and we asked them to look into it and also see whether they can follow the same as other countries are doing, because shisha is growing. And the bulk number of young people that are smoking are young women from the ages of, below 30. They are into it hugely, but they have no idea as to the effect. So right now, as the lawmakers are still looking at it, what we have decided to do, we have done about nearly 15 schools now across most around the country, where we go early in the morning during devotion time. We have 10 minutes, and we talk to the young people about
And that's
shisha.
exactly what's my next point of concentration.
Yeah.
Like we spoke lengthily about this issue about Kush.
Yeah.
That is the new breed that is taking over.
Yeah.
We want to look at the lives of those young students, the school-going kids
Yeah.
that are not yet engaged with the substance. Because at times, if we want to initiate a solution to the problem, first we want to prevent those that are not part of it
That's
yet.
it. You're right.
Before we are targeting those that are already affected, I'm saying that are already affected by it. I mean, let's look at in these various schools, especially high school, where our kids that are below the age range that are sometimes easily convinced on these things, their lives are as discouraged. I mean their safety.
Indeed, that's our concern and that's our fear as well, because those that are in it, that's why we've been calling long time for the establishment of a rehabilitation center, and then linking the rehabilitation center with a vocational training center as well. Now, for those that are not yet, brought into it or initiated into these, taking in this substance, what we have decided to do, like what I was just saying, we have decided to go to schools and engage them and talk to them and tell them the truth about the effect of any substance that you happen to take in, including alcohol as well. We try to educate our young people. Now, basically right now, we are focusing on shisha, because shisha is growing widely, even in
And it appears to be like a merry-making stuff.
And they have no idea the effect of it. So after doing our research, we have decided to go into schools, while our lawmakers are still dragging their feet to actually put this issue on the table. Unfortunately now, until they come back for the break. So we have decided to go from one school to another, almost every school day, early morning we are to the schools, and we do a presentation to them. And I think by virtue of what we are doing, sometime right after that, the students themselves will come and congratulate us, and they will tell us that, thank you, this makes sense and whatever. Because we know that peer pressure is also, driving them into this.
Let's look at what are some other negative effects the intake of this Kush thing cause on larger population. We want to look at aside from our children now, we look at our communities. Those youth that are under the influence of that substance. What other effects opposed to the environment and our safety as well? Because I believe that sometimes when you take these substances, they are abnormal. And when they are abnormal, it leads to a whole lot of negative actions. Have you had a time to ask some of those community dwellers as to how is it affecting them?
Well, we visited a few centers, a few ghettos. We've been to Zimbabwe, in District 6, and a few other ones. And then we try to interact both with the guys that we refer to as Zokos and Zokis, and then the communities in which they reside today. And what we get from the community is all about negative connotation attached to our brothers and sisters who have been swept away from real life. And then what we also get from those that are consuming or living that kind of a life is that they are saying that they don't want to be in that life, but society and also the background of where they come from and peer pressure is what got them into it. So this is what we have decided to do now, because if these excuses are given, then what we need to do now is find all of us to come together and find a solution. But you talk about the effect. If that child is born in a community, one, that child belongs to the community. Two, the child is the citizen of Liberia and a constituent of the Republic of Liberia. That child, as it could be tomorrow, they could be somebody that that community can depend on, or they can give back to the Republic of Liberia as well. Now, if you imagine a mother telling me that the son was just in the 12th grade and was straight away, and today the son is no more due to Kush, and that child is no more around. So the very assistance that the contribution that the child used to make in the home, outside of the home that is in the community, outside of the community that is across worldwide by virtue of going to school and making contribution there, that child will no longer make it. So the effect will not only be on the family, but it will be on the community and the country at large. So this is our concern, and I think we all of us as citizens of this country, we have to open our ears and let's open our eyes. Let's see, let's hear, and let's take action against these drugs that are coming in our
What
country.
are your fears?
We're losing too many people, too many young people. These are young people that are supposed to be preparing themselves that tomorrow when you and I are somewhere where we just supposed to be sitting down and be retiring, they can take on our mantle and then continue bearing the flag or so. But if they are not in the position that they can prepare themselves for tomorrow, then definitely it will be a wasted resources and wasted building of human resource capacity. So that's our fear. We don't want the young people to continue dying in the hands of people who are just after money. 'Cause these drugs, there are people bringing it in, and they only care for their money. They don't care for a human's life. So this is where, for me, I am so angry with our authorities. If you arrest drugs, there's somebody who brought the drugs in the country. Where is the individual? What punishment have they gotten? Why are we still having problem with drugs in our country? We've been fighting it for almost 5, 6, 7 years or so. We can't get it. We can't get to the bottom of it. What's happening? Every day, when I go to ghettos, the young people can tell me, every day, in every community across the country where ghettos are, every day we lost a child, a citizen of the Republic of Liberia to a Zogo life. I mean, take that into calculation. And you then across the world, and you was across the country, and then you will see how many young people are we losing to this particular life they call Zogos.
Okay, we go to the phone lines, take few of the calls. Liberians, you are in the communities, you know what we are discussing. Some of you are directly affected by these actions. We take few of the calls, 07709079070, 08809079070. Our children, the lives of our children are at risk. We talk to this person. Good morning, thanks for joining us.
Hello.
You live, let's hear you.
Thank you. I'm Johnson Vanilla Jr. I'm one of the organizers of United Movement Against Smoking Liberia. And first, I want to tell you, thank you so much. But for me, I've been calling George for the Liberia. You are pledging this to the Liberian people. Brother, while I'm talking to you, everything is 100%. Myself, yeah. I feel bad if I see my brother and sister on the street. I feel bad. For me, I don't have him. I'm going from camp to camp, but I don't have the smartphone that I'll be taking pictures that people can see. But I've been on the scene. I've been calling on for the Labrador. So I want to take that man no more. Actually, I want to be part of it, and I will support anything that I want for the support. I'll be part of it. So thank you for the show, and I'll listen to you.
Okay, thank you. We'll take this person. Good morning, Gole.
Yeah, good morning. The voice of the Labrador, this is your regular caller, Alfonso A.S. Kamara.
Alfonso, let's hear you quickly.
Well, thank you very much for the opportunity afforded me to speak to us on Radio Land this morning. You see, the problem we are faced with today with money circulation is because the money is not circulating. Civil servants are not taking pay. And once civil servants are not taking pay, money will not be in circulation.
Okay, I think you answered the discussion, Alfonso. Good morning. Oh, lost this person from this. And 0770907907 0880907 are the numbers we're discussing. The usual about these drugs thing is seriously affecting our population. Good morning and thanks for joining us. Oh my word.
Yeah, my favorite station. Hello, good morning.
Good morning, let's hear you.
Yeah, good morning, brother. How's everything?
I'm doing great. Let's hear you quickly, man.
Yeah, thanks to the studio girls in the I'm calling from Newton, the Congress of Democratic Change .13. Oh, my brother, let me tell you something. I'm really happy with the guy in there talking about these things. You know, if my brother, when you see the children, even just now, I was walking on the road, my brother. I saw a little girl. She walking like zombie. Yeah. So I'm telling you, you know, I would like for us to get to the root cause of this thing. Let's just leave. Let's get to the root cause of it. Who are the people that are bringing them? You understand? Because the children's falling every day. Come you get and you see the girls' children. You find that the girls' children are getting inside. Yeah, they will cut their hair and spray it like Jollof rest. When you see them, my brother, they trying to look like zombie. I said just now as I was speaking to you, one friend of mine together, they call him Fit. He and myself standing together, they kept passing like she walking like zombie. I said, look at it. Can you imagine, my brother? So thank you so much, my brother.
Thank you. I hope I had the time to visit somebody get us and see the situation.
Yes.
Good morning.
Hello.
Live.
Let me say good morning to the father of Liberia family. My name is Abdul and I call from the UN Rap. Let me appreciate the morning for the talking. Also, let me appreciate the Almighty God for pumping breath into us, our voice to be heard this morning. My brother, when it comes to the trust issue, for me, I think the people we get a position to, in my own understanding, these are the people that are bringing the drugs in the country. More especially the House of Representatives and the House of Senate. Because the people that you will not tell me say the 10 years say you're part of the drug law, you're part of the drug law, then you'll continue being reluctant in passing the drug law, making people just bring a bad substance, which our younger brother just taking die when all one take it, you go you see block on my ear, block on my elbow, block on my nose. Then we get representative and senator who talking about passing drugs law, they looking to pass the drug law, they tell me now. Who bring the drugs to the country? For me, I will accuse the House of Representatives.
Okay, we'll take this call. Good morning, you said a lot.
Yeah, good morning, Alfonso Kamal. Let me go to the just issue. I don't know why our immigration security apparatus they are doing this day. Drugs is continuing to come in numbers. And today our brothers and sisters are spoiled because of the drugs. And I'm talking with you right now. I want to have a class instructor. Many of the students that are taught are graduated from lower institutions today. When you see them, they are all just addicts in the street. So sometimes they are perform or they may feel frustrated that we use our energy to mold the mind of the young people to become better people in the society. But today, just coming in with no control. So we are begging our immigration security apparatus to put system into place.
Okay, we take this person, the fans will lead there. We take this person. Good morning.
Good morning. Good morning, brother.
Good morning, let's hear you.
Yes. My name is David Johnson, and I come in from State Paris, today. And I beg you to our brother in the studio. Look, my brother, trust coming to Liberia. I don't trust that food hands to come in Liberia. People bring drugs in Liberia, and our brothers and sisters, they are suffering from this issue. What are the immigration people doing? How drugs to enter Liberia? Who are bringing drugs in Liberia? Who are those people? They should know. people to know how drugs enter this country because there are immigration people to all those borders. They have a drugs in the country in about 30 years, so I go crazy. I think the government needs to, take steps, and those immigration people, they need to, the bosses, they need to be faster. Because drugs can be glad to come to Liberia. That human being bringing drugs in the country.
Like human being. Okay, we'll see if there one or two more calls. Lots of calls coming in. It seems like this message simply applies to almost everyone. Everyone is affected by this situation, directly or indirectly. We talk to this person. Good morning.
Yeah, good morning. I'm sorry, Johnson Vanova on the line. First thing I want to say thank you for the problem I have for our parents. Like for me, I came from a very poor background. When I was living with my uncle didn't tell me to two Megan live together. But I'm surprised, brother. I'm telling you, I want to feel that you can see the community see the children outside of the 10 o'clock, 11 o'clock. But their parents are inside. So our parents are not taking responsibility or they're not taking responsibility. They are not taking care of the children. Because, they are not taking responsibility. I'll be put on you.
Okay, for he blames the parents or some extent. We'll take this will be our last call. We'll have to get back to our studio guys. Good morning. Thanks for being our final call on this show.
Thank you very much. My name is Gustav Doe. I'm calling from Bentonville. Actually, the issue of the drugs in the country, for me, I will blame the immigration. You see, I'm a student in Ghana. I always come by road. If you get at the border, oh my God, the people just take money from the foreigners. I'm not being nationalistic in any way. They don't even check the people's bags. The Nigerian guy who was sitting beside me in his car, they met the drugs all on his foot. Then he wrote 2-3 classes. Or we go to Ghana, other places, they pull him down. Or we go to Liberia, America. The people, the immigration at the office, at the border, they are not working. So if the government can do anything about it, I think our country will need to employ the K9. The K9 are trained security dogs. Put those dogs along the border. Even if anybody got cooking and the cooking is 20 feet away from you, the dog can smell it. They will go to the bag and tear it. The immigration soldiers are not working. The people come, they just take money from them, they let them pass, they don't check the bags. But if you enter in Ghana, Ivory Coast, other places, the people open the bag, check the bag and see what's inside. So the drugs in this country is more than the salt that is in this country. Believe it, I tell you something. The drugs in the country more than the salt that we're using. I pray that the government will see reason to employ the K9 because the K9 seems to be more intelligent than the immigration soldiers. I'm not being rude, but I'm just being so hurt. There are too much drugs in our country. Thank you.
Okay, we'll leave the call segment right there. We're not taking any more calls. Ambassador Parker, you listen. Almost all of the callers seem to reconcile with exactly what you say. It means that the message, it means that almost every Liberian is directly or indirectly affected by the situation.
All of the callers, we want to appreciate them. The last caller strike huge points there. And as somebody that is using the road, the ECOWAS road quite often, I think his concerns are, well noted. Today we are going to have meeting with the immigration boss. We are also hoping to have, in fact, we asked the immigration boss that we would like to meet with him and the LDA boss as well, so that we can bring on their table some of our concerns as well. So hopefully, like what he just suggested, we are going to suggest it again, and because by next week we will be meeting with the head of ECOWAS representative here, and the following week we'll be meeting the UN country representative as well. We are going to raise this issue with them, and we are going to put on the table. And we are, once again, on behalf of the Republic of Liberia, especially Immigration Service and the Liberia National Police, we're going to appeal again for support, like we did in 2020, and we saw the support coming for Immigration Service. We are going to exclusively also, especially for the fight against drug trafficking in Liberia, we're going to be begging them to help us to equip our borders, to help us equip our borders as well. As this is the only country, even in West Africa here, this is the only country that we don't even have what the brother just made mention of, K9 dogs and things that can help to fight, against these unfortunate situation at our border points. So we are going to also make requests for that and beg for help. But we want to beg all of you, those of you that call and have interest in this subject, please, on Monday next week, we want you to please come. Let's be plenty. I mean, yesterday when the Justice from Liberia, we were there few, but the message have to go. Even if we're going to be only one there, I want to stand there for 2 hours or so. But we want you to come as well and make up the number. Let's hold the posters on our hands and cry out for help. Our generations are being destroyed. And I know very, very well, it is not only being destroyed by foreigners, but our own brothers and our sisters who are in position today, who can come to the border, that they will just open the border for them. And they will just open the gate for them in the past. Those are the people that are destroying the future of our children, because they just want money, they just after money, they just after their riches also. So let's get our hands on the deck together. Let's get out on Monday for 1 or 2 hours. You come there, we just stand there and cry out through our posters and things. We're not going to have demonstration. We're not going to have protests. We're just assembling, stand in one place, and from there we will leave. And we'll continue to have meetings with the stakeholders as well, starting today with the immigration and the LDA.
Okay, many thanks for honoring our invite. To say thanks so kindly for the conversation.
As usual, always the pleasure, and thanks to the Voice of Liberia family as well. Thanks for providing the platform. This particular topic we're talking about. You yourself, your father and the father, the listeners are for fathers and mothers. Let's take this as a serious matter, and a matter of concern for all of us, because the next child could be yours.
The next child could be yours. That's his final word. He's Ambassador Martin Kpakio. He hails from Justice from Liberia. Been serving us conversation on the show. With this other time we ought to be with you on the program. This is Good Morning Liberia. We'll leave you with this music as soon as I love so dearly. And he certainly will no copyright to this song that is played, but it is important we bring it. It is a Liberian song. Oh, yeah, our youth continue to be destroyed. There is a need we increase so as to make sure the right things are done. Mali Gadi been watching. Thanks so kindly. Lamino Connect. Thanks. Roberta Riches. Thanks so kindly. Stephen Johnson. Abu B. Jado. Francis Tamafafoli. Muyan Sharif. James B. Peter. And all those of you been watching, we say thanks so kindly. Good Morning Liberia returns tomorrow morning with another fascinating edition. This has been Harris as well a presentation. Have yourself a God bless day.